Hello, friends, and welcome to the 56th episode of All New Snap Judgments. As always, I am Roy Rogers, and joining me today is my friend and yours, a very tired future sandworm and space emperor of the Snap Judgments podcasting network. Again, my friend and yours, Aaron Glazer. Aaron, my friend, besides being very tired from your very busy IRL day, how are you doing?
I'm great. It's an OTA. It's a new OTA. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but hopefully it shakes up the meta and we get some new stuff, because there's not going to be one for a couple of weeks given the forthcoming.
Awesome. 4th of July. I am one of those horrible Americans that actually really enjoys the 4th of July. It's probably my favorite holiday of
Why does
the
that
year.
make you a horrible American? I'm confused.
Because there's American patriotism isn't always the best thing.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean, Glazer. And
I don't.
So,
can you explain?
No, I don't think that. I think that would lead to, last week. Actually, I want to say something. Was it last week or was it 2 weeks ago? When you and we had that conversation at the beginning of the show. I was.
Oh, that was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago, right? I was very proud of our commentators mostly, and I want to say I really appreciate the supportive and wise comments that most people left and that survived on the YouTube comments page for me to look at. So I don't know if Glazer did heavy.
No, I didn't delete a single thing. There was not a single comment that I found issue with. It was really good.
There we go. So I really appreciate our viewers, our listeners, and our commentators for just being an awesome groups of people. I forgot I wasn't on last week, right? I don't know. It's been a time. There's a lot going on.
I don't remember anything more than 2 days ago at this point.
There we go. But you know what I do remember, Glazer, is that each and every week we have very special guests.
Wait, we do?
We do. And who are they this week?
We're going to start with a 4-time guest, one of our regulars at this point. It is the giant of Marvel Snap, the pirate of our hearts and our booties. It is the King, Tuccrr.
What is going on, you guys? It is an absolute pleasure to be here as always. Thank you so much for having me. It is just incredible. 4 times. Time flies when you're having fun. And yeah, it's just great to be here.
Tuck, tell people, they can find you by your name on everything, but tell them how to spell it, because if they're just listening, they don't got it.
So the original Tuccrr, the way you normally spell it, that's not how you spell this one. It is Tuccrr. The OG Tuccr's was taken, so we had to make a brand new name.
All right. We are also joined by one of the very best players in the world. One of the 5-ish players who I think has a legitimate claim at being the best. Dominates tournaments, always at the top of the infinite leaderboard. No, he's not stream sniping you. He just beats your ass that well. It is the one and only Evazord. How you doing, Ava?
How's it going?
Going great.
I'm fine, but you're tired.
He's like, how do I follow
that? You guys can check my social. It's everything Evazord. So they're mostly on the Twitch. That's my main, but everything is Evazord. It's like this.
Evazord. Check them out. Also, make sure, in addition to the Twitch, I'm on that Twitch stream all the goddamn time. It's one of my main lurkers, because during the day when I've got things to do, I can just I like watching good Snap while I'm busy, you know what I mean? If I'm just goofing off, I can just goof off. When I'm busy and I'm checking back in, I just be good. And then I get to do other things. So it's one of my main daily hangouts. But also make sure you check out the Twitter. It's not the most active Twitter, but occasionally he'll sneak a deck in there that I haven't seen yet, and it's always a really great deck.
And I want to say, really, thank you to be here. It's a pleasure. It's really nice to talk about Marvel Snap, and I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. We're super happy to have you. Muted, friend. Roy?
Sorry, I muted. I apologize. I was going to say I'm very grateful to have both new friends and long-standing friends. But I want to sort of remind our loyal listeners and loyal viewers how to engage in a parasocial relationship with us. And there is sort of the first place, like with all parasocial relationships, is Twitter. or whatever it's calling itself, X. Although the Supreme Court did say, the Supreme Court of the United States, to be clear, did say it is perfectly okay to keep calling it Twitter, even though Elon has rebranded. So we're just going to follow the wise justices on the Supreme Court and call it Twitter. Our Twitter is @SnapJudgeCast. We are incredibly grateful to be the official podcasting partner of Marvel Snap Zone. Please click the link in the description of this episode on either YouTube or in your friendly neighborhood podcatcher and join their Discord. It's the best large Discord in all of Marvel Snap, and we are so incredibly each and every week to be their official podcasting partner. So show them love, show us love by joining their Discord. If you want to use the internet equivalent of snail mail to get in touch with us, Kick is thankfully dying, so maybe the Kick spam will eventually go away. But we will do our best to find your email through there at snapjudgmentspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's snapjudgmentspodcast@gmail.com. And last but not least is our YouTube, where 6 days a week, Glazer produces at least one video, some days 2, some days even 3. And then, of course, on Saturdays, you get the podcast. It's 7 days a week of some of the best, most insightful content in Marvel Snap. People have been calling Glazer the, busiest man in Marvel Snap, I've heard many times. So, Glazer, if our loyal listeners were to become our loyal viewers of the YouTube, what would they find right now? Oh, and
So
our
many
YouTube, hold on. I didn't actually say what it was. Is at Snap Judgments Pod.
Yeah, there we go. So many decks, just so many decks. I also did a video where I just didn't do like the regular decks, where I covered the OTA and all the patchy stuff because I thought that would be cool, and then no one watched it. But hey, I tried.
Awesome. All right, so let's jump into a real quick announcement. Aaron, speaking of the Snap Judgments Empire, the Snap Judgments Network, what is coming up in July?
It is the Snap Judgments League Season 3. Season 3 is kicking off on July 8th. It looks like we're going to close our sign-ups on July 6th, so that we have a couple days to get this set up, so make sure you are entered. $500 in prizes. Let's do it.
Awesome. I'm incredibly excited for it. It's the kind of thing that you can help support. If you love competitive Snap, you love regular tournaments, small scale ones like Gunny T runs, sort of like quick fire, sort of like what would be side events at a big convention center tournament, or this like monthly leagues. Like all of this is made possible by our Patreon, which is Snap Judgments. All right, you should definitely go and support that if you're interested in competitive Snap. Glazer, Gunny T, other members of the Snap Judgment family are bringing that to you. And again, it is a reverse pyramid scheme because they do end up giving much more than we actually get in the Patreon. So that just kind of scales. The more Patreon money we get, the more Glazer's willing to take out the most powerful card in gaming, his credit card, to continue to support the community and all kinds of things. So again, it's just spiraling from.
We
support
also
us on Patreon.
support like 80% of the small Marvel Snap tournaments at this point. Like people are just like, we're hosting a tournament. I'm like, here, would you like money? Have some prize support. Like I'm going to make this fucking competitive scene happen by sheer force of will. We're doing it.
There we go.
Like,
so again,
I'm sponsoring the one Ava's in Snap Masters. I'm sponsoring that. Power On just had a tournament. I sponsored that. SnapCon's coming. Yeah, we're sponsoring that.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, Tech wants a fucking then guest went on vacation and just left me hanging. But whatever. Tech wants to have a in-person tournament. Yeah, we're sponsoring it. So yeah, like let's make tournaments a thing in Marvel Snap. But please join the league because that's the only one that doesn't just cost me. Well, that's the only one I break even on.
It's so much fun
too.
I'm already registered.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so much fun every single season. Like it's super competitive. You play against, the regular community. You play against Snap streamers. You might even play against Glazer. Like it is awesome.
Yeah. I went 3-1 in my own tournament and still missed the cut on straight the schedule.
There we go. That's
ridiculous.
You know what? I've been doing competitive gaming with Glazer. That is a story that has been true in multiple games that we've played.
Like I did great. Did you make the cut? No. Why? Shit happens.
So, all right. Again, support the competitive scene by supporting us on Patreon. Snap judgments. All right. Let's dig into what people really came about, which was not self-promotion, but the discussion of the OTA. We're getting another big one. There's a couple of big changes here that I think are worth really digging into. But I think I'll go through all of them for our loyal listeners and loyal viewers, and then we can sort of take them one by one or in groups. So Angela is getting hit with the nerf that again. She's still 2 cost, but she has 3 base power at the cost of only gaining 1 power per card played here. Hercules getting a change that I think Glazer and me and basically every guest has been predicting since the card was released. He's gone down to 3 costs. Now that did cost him 3 strength, so he's now just 4 strength. So he's a 3/4, but a pretty big buff. Being 3 cost is, being 1/4 cheaper is a huge deal. Kingpin is half as expensive as he once was. He's now a 1/2, so a big, interesting change. Our guy Miles has gone up to 6 strength, so he's now a 4/6. High Evolutionary, one of the best villains in the entirety of the MCU, is up to 6 strength, so he's a 4/6 now. Nick Fury gets the same buff. He's also a 4/6. And Alioth, that purple-colored fart, the most beloved card in all of Marvel Snap, up there with Galactus as one of the most beloved cards, he actually got a buff. He is now a 6/10. All right, Ava. As the new guest here, I'll start with you. Angela change. Are you a lover? Are you a hater? Are you lukewarm? Takes all around, friends.
Okay, so Angela, I think this is okay. It's not that bad because Angela need this. So the main deck was Domaining the Ladder. Is deck used Angela and Tina and something like the combo Mysterio and Mockingbird, and every deck after the Angela is going back to 2 mana, 0 power and +2. Everyone is using Angela, So this is okay. I don't know. I like this. I prefer this than the other stuff.
Tuccrr, thoughts on Angela? Because this is the biggest change, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think this is the biggest change. And just like Ava was saying, like the Ravonna list was running a lot of Angela. And I think it's interesting how it's a 2/3 now. When she got the original change a couple patches ago, she was a 2/2. So they already increased her power from then to now. I think she can still scale okay. She's definitely not going to put out the same amount of power she used to. This is a huge nerf to her. But I don't think she's a dead card.
Yeah, she is playable, but it's not that strong anymore. She's okay. I know. I prefer like this.
So she's bad in bounce, I think. I think bounce really hurts for her. This hurts bounce a lot. Like the regular decks where she was just in them as extra power. I don't think super matter, but in bounce she was a win condition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and makes sense. Maybe people going to play, I don't know, some bounce Tina. Because
it's hard.
Because Tina has interaction and people don't know, but if you play Tina with Invisible Woman, you can play 3 cards and buff Tina. So Invisible Woman on bounce, it's a thing, and nobody expect this. So I was playing something like this, and after the OTA, so it's good. Bouncy Tina with Invisible because we play 3 cards and buff Tina. So
just leave Hitmonkey there.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really strong, and you can replace the Angela.
That makes sense to me. It's
spicy.
Yeah. So I think the best deck in the game is probably that. I mean, I don't especially like it, but I think the best deck in the game is probably that Ravonna, Angela, Athena, Mockingbird, Iron Man, Sasquatch deck. I think that's still the best deck, and I don't think you bother taking out Angela because she was never the win condition, right? If you can get Angela to 6 power, you're perfectly fine with just oh cool, a 2/6. That's not gonna automatically eat that Red Guardian. Sure, I'll take it, right? I think
that makes sense.
Still great.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be the best deck because now with this buff on my guy,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
uh, these leads has a potential to, I don't know, smash stuffs on their face.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about them.
I mean, we can just go to it. Unless, Roy, you have any Angela thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think balancers need to decide like what they want to be the most powerful thing to be doing in their game. And as far as the most powerful thing to be doing, I think Angela is probably one of the healthier ones. This might be a controversial, I guess, take, but I find like an Angela dominated meta to be more fun to play in because Angela decks do have a decent amount of answers to them. Shadow King being one of them. The fact that Angela is a single lane card, like the fact that you can, as someone who does, pardon my French, constantly fuck up Angela sequencing. Like as a player, like it's a card that can punish people who are sloppy at sequencing. So like taking Angela down a notch, well, it makes sense for sort of like the novelty degenerates out there, the people who just like want things to change all the time, which like I definitely appreciate. I know the Glazer, right? Like who is definitely sometimes a believer in change for its own sake. For me, like I think actually Angela, like I enjoyed the Angela meta that existed sort of post the Professor X nerf a lot. I've been really enjoyed playing Marvel Snap in June, and I'm like a little concerned about like what thing could rise up in its place. And so I'm hoping that maybe people's excitement about Arashim will sort of like keep the game interesting, but I am a little bit concerned about sort of some of the monsters that may rise in her place. Like, I guess I prefer when it comes to Angela, the devil you know, versus like the decks that Angela was suppressing. So sort of that's like my take. Like, I get why this change happened. I'm not like angry. I'm not going to uninstall the app, but I'm definitely more of a like Angela meta person than maybe some other folks are.
So I think part of the reason they did this is that they know there's not going to be a change for the next 2 weeks. And this meta was dangerously close to just solved, where we just knew what the best things were. And they want us to be like, all right, go figure shit out for a week, and then you can have the same meta for a week before the next OTA. I don't think they wanted 3 weeks of solved meta. Which, like, I know seems like a really short time for most games, but it's a really long time of solved meta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Good, right?
So, Herc, do we want to do Herc? Do we want to... Like, I think Herc maybe is worth his own sort of, like, discussion. So, Tuccrr, Hercules. Thoughts, feelings, opinions, hot takes. Besides it being one of the best of the golden age of Disney films.
I love the Disney film, by the way. Oh my, such a banger. But I think the Hercules change, like you said, we saw it coming at some point in the future. I've been watching like some streams and stuff today too, and I like that everyone is testing out move with Hercules, like once again, I would say, and it feels so fluid. I think a lot like this buff, and another one we're going to talk about a little bit later is with some of the data mine stuff we got for September. It makes sense with a bunch of those other new move cards being added. And I think the Hercules, like, I like how it is a random, you don't know if it's going to go one of the other two lanes. You kind of have to like predict and, throw your cards in such a way. And I think it really takes a good spot in like the bounce move, like Shell. I think it feels really good because it's a 3 now instead of a 4, being able to play it out on curve, or even as like a final turn kind of situation. It's just like it feels good because if you get your stuff moved in the right spot, maybe you're trying to move your Jeff over into the lane and you forget about Hercules and he just freaking bops your Jeff over to the other side of the board. Like, I don't know. I just like the interactions, and I think it's a great change, and it allows move to have way more love, which is a very hard archetype, I feel like, to pilot because it's a lot of math and moving and stuff. Maybe it's just self-inflicted on myself, but I like it.
Ava?
I love move. It's one of my favorite things in Marvel Snap. It's play a movement deck, and I was using Hercules a lot. Now I'm going to use a lot again because he's so strong right now, and I don't know. These can be really dangerous for the next week, because this is so, I don't know, guys, this is so strong. His cost 3, it's insane. It's insane. After they fix the movement stuff, some patch, I don't know when they do this, but the movement when you move a card resolve before you play, you know. And this was a nerf on Hercules Cloak, because we can move and then play Hercules. Hercules don't work anymore. So he costs 3, make us play here on turn 3, and then we can move the stuffs. So this is really powerful. It is going to be insane on move bounce stuff. I already playing, and I play on tournaments. I think I win a tournament with some list like this with Hercules. So I'm very excited to play this card. This card is so insane.
So I'm pretty sure Move is the deck that can put out the most power. Just like Hercules means it's really easy to make Vulture a 315. And like if you can make Vulture a 315 with one move, and then you can make a Dagger a 318 with one move, right? You just turned low power into high power more efficiently than anything does. This might end up being too good, but it won't be for me, because Move is the only deck in Snap that I don't feel smart enough to play. Move is the one deck where like you have to do the I've said this before, I think, but please bear with me if you've heard me say this. But it feels like playing a card game that has an infinite combo, where you're trying to get your infinite combo off, and my brain doesn't work that way. I can get a really long combo, but I can never like do the I need to plan from turn 1 for the infinite combo. My brain just doesn't quite get all the way there, and that's what playing Move feels like to me. My brain I'll win plenty of games, right? But like I know, like, and then I'll look at my loss and be like, oh, I should have done that on turn 3, and I didn't think of it. And like,
this is true.
It's like turn 3. Oh, I played Hercules there, but I should have played Vulture, and then I could have Hercules Ghost Spidered in that other lane with more information. And like, but like that's not always right? Sometimes you should play that Hercules first, and like learning that is gonna take me so many reps. My rank has become like an actual topic sometimes now, which is weird for me, but whatever. I might just tank my rank for the rest of the season and learn Move. But like, I'm gonna have to tank my rank. It's gonna be like 100 games.
Yeah, because sometimes people, when playing this movement deck, they want to spend all mana because it's the smart thing to do. But with Move, it's bad, because sometimes you want to save your resource to turn 4 and start play on turn 4, So it's really hard. It's really hard, because every single turn it's a thing you need to think, okay, I can play this right here, and after this I can bounce and then play in another lane to move. So it's really hard. It's really hard. It's really annoying.
We're not going to talk about it today. It's actually next week's topic. I had a different topic I wanted to cover today. We'll see. We'll get to that in a minute. But the September cards, if they keep Hercules like this for the September cards, Hercules is going to, like, I will bet any amount of money that either Junk is meta or this is meta. Like, the sheer control of Move that you'll have, like the new activate ability, which seems like the new keyword seems to be like press a card and then the thing happens. If I can press a card and make a move happen and not have to worry about my ordering, that makes it so much easier.
Yeah, Aranya being able to move to the right as well as the text.
Like just whenever you want. Like the last card, you play it and then you just wait, and then you play your move card and then you can tap Aranya, right? Like, so you don't have to sequence it, right? You just wait, and then it gives +2 power and the move. Like, that's an immediate, what is that, 16 power Human Torch in one shot?
God.
I
don't know. Like, it's hard to talk about the activate cards without knowing whether or not they have energy costs, right?
They almost certainly will not.
They almost certainly will not.
It would say I would say activate like for 1 energy almost certainly, because it wouldn't automatically be 1 energy, right? Like they would differentiate based on energy cost. And like at least as of right now, they don't say that, so I'm pretty sure like they may eventually have like a cost, but I don't think the ones that are spoiled do as of now.
Okay, well, again, I'm really nervous about talking about a keyword that we like don't know some fundamental things about, because like the like we just don't know if they're like whether they have energy costs or don't have energy costs is like a huge thing, right? And like the order in which things resolve with activates is also a thing that we won't know until Second Dinner tells us, right? Like, do they go before on reveals? So that's something I think for a whole episode, but we need to be really careful with the speculation around that, because it's like such a fundamental change to how the game works. So I'm just going to say I'm really happy to have Hercules changed. Is it worth spending a huge amount of time on Kingpin, Miles, High Evolutionary, and Nick? Or do we just want to take them all as a group?
I want to talk about High Evolutionary. I don't really care about any of the others. Let's say, does anyone want to say anything about Kingpin, Miles, or Nick Fury?
Actually, Kingpin is one of the cards I want to talk, because we never see this card, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have a feeling it's come okay. Cost 1, you can bounce, you can play like, I don't know, Polaris and move a card on the Kingpin and then bounce him. I don't know. I want to test some combos, but I have a feeling cost 1, he's going to be okay and playable right now. Just this.
So if move is as good as we think, Kingpin will automatically be good, right?
Yeah.
It's a powerful tech card now, like at 1 cost, I think, if move is really as good. But it's definitely like, did you put it in the right lane?
It's good. I promise.
Okay.
So,
look, if Ava says
I mean,
it's good,
like,
it's probably fucking good. Like that's,
yeah, I mean, and look,
that's one of those
I mean, we
rules.
have. I mean, another thing is like we've learned that the opportunity cost of 1-drops is relatively low, right?
Mhm.
So, and particularly in a Red Hulk world, like Red Hulk is still around, like just having something in your deck to play on 1 can sometimes be useful.
But we know that
So-
like this kind of card can be good. Remember the Echo meta, right? Like there was that meta in November or December, whatever it was, where Echo was like the secret tech card that you really wanted to have. Like I think that could be Kingpin going forward. I could see it.
And mid-range decks are running 2 move cards, right? Like Jeff and Nocturne, right? So like there are like just move cards just exist in decks. So the card is like seldom is dead. It's similar to kind of Shang-Chi in some ways. Like where like it's never 100% dead. Like it may not play out in the way the game did, but like you playing this on 1 makes your opponent's Jeff a lot less flexible of a card.
Agree.
Sure.
All right. You want to talk about High Evolutionary, Glazer? I think Yeah.
So here's my exact High Evolutionary take. This does not matter to players who are done with Series 3, but if you're in the first half of Series 3, you just got a significantly better card. Like if you're at just getting to Series 3 and deciding what to buy, you should have bought High Evolutionary anyway, right? But like because it gives you a deck, but now that deck has an extra piece to it. And I think that's really important for like early series players to have that ready-made deck. And like they say in the patch notes, whatever notes, OTA notes, that more changes are coming to Evolutionary, and I think that's just important.
Very important.
Yeah, I hate
Save
this guy.
Ben Grimm.
I hate High Evolutionary.
Why?
It's because I don't know, when he released, everyone is playing this, and oh my god, this is so easy and so annoying to beat. So I just hate this card, but it's good to early pool 3 players. It's a good deck. I just hate it.
I think they're going to have to do a lot of work to make High Evolutionary like super meta, because I feel like the card's been super power creeped. Like when you're right, Ava, that like when it came out, it was everywhere. To the point where like I was really excited for High Evolutionary, then got sick of them because I was just like, I don't want to play High Evolutionary mirrors. Like they're not very fun. But like pretty quickly, like High Evolutionary became like a Series 3 deck, right? Like a safe bet for a new player to invest 6k tokens and get a solid, predictable deck to climb with, but nothing like spectacular. And like that's kind of where it's been ever since, if not like sometimes straight up unplayable, like when Red Hulk was literally everywhere. Like I just beat high evolutionary players, very easily with Red Hulk. Just
Easy.
yeah, like it's just like my Hulk outscares your Hulk, right? So anymore, I think it's a safe card to put some power points in, because it's, I think, going to take a lot of work to make him meta again. Tuccrr, any feelings?
I still play some high evo, and I enjoy playing more of like the toxic version where you're trying to get your A-bomb out and stuff, and not having Hulk as like a win con. Yes, you're still like floating energy, and it does get power creeped by Red Hulk, but I think like with the additions of like White Widow and Red Guardian have helped with that iteration of it. Still not making it like a great list, but I'm also very excited for when Ajax comes out to be able to play some high evo with Ajax. I think that'll be some fun stuff, especially after he also got tweaked recently.
I like it. Last one.
All right.
Wait.
Big.
Fuck this Nick Fury change. What a waste of goddamn time. Like, holy shit. Like, could they have found a less useful change for Nick Fury? Like, what the fuck were like they?
I mean, he could have lost power.
Sure. And like, it wouldn't matter. Like, it couldn't matter less. Like, what the fuck? This card is such garbage.
People like to play the Nick Fury card.
No, they don't. He's like unplayed. Check his play rate on anything. That card is like, oh my god.
How am I put this? I think that the people who play Nick Fury are not the kind of people who install Untap.
I think the people who play Nick Fury are not the kind of people who care if he has +1 power.
No, I agree. But like, they need to serve those people. They have access to plugged, all right, which is all the data, right? And so they clearly think it serves some community, right? Making Nick. Didn't everybody get the signed Nick Fury variant? So even like series people early in Series 3 have him, right? Well, I mean, it was a while ago now, so I guess.
No, he was okay. So everyone got Nick Fury at some point for some weird giveaway. Like there was the signed Nick Fury.
Yes, that's my variant that's set. So, I mean, who doesn't want a Samuel L. Jackson signed Nick Fury?
All right, we've talked enough about this fucking card. All right,
Elioth. Ava, could you tell us about everybody's favorite purple monster?
I think it's just chain nothing, actually. The 2 power, it's okay. No one was using Allied. Sometimes I lose because I don't play around Allied, but I think this probably don't change a lot.
I disagree. I think this matters. I think Alliath is good and underplayed. I think that exactly for this reason. I think Surfer is secretly one of the 2 or 3 best decks in Marvel Snap. And if you're playing a zoo list, you lose to Surfer a lot. Not if you're running Alliath.
Yeah, but you need the Prio to play Alliath, and it's hard to get Prio.
Not against Surfer. Surfer's I've got 6 power here with my broods. And you're like, all right, cool. I've dropped all these 1,000,000 power cards. We're fine. And I have a Blue Marvel on 5 while you played a 5/4. And you've only got 2 lanes free. I'm at worst taking a 50-50 for my Alliath.
You were saying only about this matchup, right?
No. Against a lot of other stuff, right? People are playing Iron Man to end the game, right? Screw your Iron Man. There's a decent amount of stuff that it hits. At 10 power?
But in this meta, seems not great. Play 1 card in the last turn only.
Well, that's because Thena exists.
Everyone's playing a lot of cards, so I don't know. Maybe if you run Sandman on Allied, this makes sense. Yeah. So now we have 2 plus 2 power. So I don't know. Sometimes work and you win. You're going to win some games, but I don't know if these change a lot.
Look, I don't think it's tier 1 meta, but I can easily see it at 10 power having a meta where it is tier 1. It also should just be a 5/6. I think this as a 5/6 is a way better card and way more interesting. But like as a 6/10, I think that there's metas where this will really, really be important.
I want to try some Malaya Sandman just to to beat the everyone's playing everyone's playing the small cast deck. I forget the name.
Yeah, I think exactly like Ava said. I was thinking of Sandman. It could be good with Eliath.
Mhm.
I'm thinking even like for Thanos. Like Thanos, you're not always struggling to have priority, especially with Thanos being able to be a permanent 5/10 with Time Stone. Like being able to sneak Thanos in some lanes. I don't think you do anything with Lockdown again, but this is pretty decent if you also have some Jean Grey stuff. I mean, it's kind of more particular with like the update here, but if you get a Pocket Eliath from an Arishem now at a 6/10, you're not mad.
Mhm.
If you get it from the Raft,
Ooh, Valentine.
it feels good. So, yeah,
He doesn't remove Red Hulk's buffs, right? He doesn't do that, right?
No.
Anything
just
that
as text at
No.
just the
endgame.
text, so it won't
Yeah.
trigger at the end of the turn, right? So
Cannonball meta comes back. It's like, bam.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Doc
I mean,
Ock.
are you playing Doc Ock on the 6? Are people playing Doc Ock on 6? Am I missing something?
Magic.
Mm,
Oh,
Some
Magic
scar
Sure,
value.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, no, magic. Like you magic on 5 sometimes, and you Doc Ock on 6.
That's
Hell.
yeah. It's true.
yeah,
That's true.
I didn't see a lot of magics because everyone's playing Nocturne.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, that was your
Yeah,
deck, so.
It definitely, Nocturne meta makes my girl not as good as
Pixie
she was
value,
in the
though.
past. It's true.
Pixie value with Eliath
It's true.
is cheeky. Which like KM posted a list. I think it was either yesterday or the day before with Phastos and had Eliath with a 6/8 power. Now at the 10, it could feel way better.
Yeah, I think he answers more stuff more reliably. I just think he does what he was doing before more reliably, and I think what he was doing before was good but not great. I guess would be the way that I would describe this. I think he still just beats kind of the things that he was beating before, but just does it more consistently, and you're going to win in more like you've turned a 50-50 coin flip situation to like a 55-45 situation of like where this like power matters just a little bit to push you over. Right, but I still some of the like six energy plays that like again Red Hulk I'm going to go to, right, which to me just remains like what is one of the best things you can do on 6 to close out a game. Red Hulk, he doesn't do anything against that in the way that of course he would have done something against it in the old version, right? So I don't think he solves all of the problems for these sort of get ahead players, but it's definitely a good position to be in, and I don't think he'll be as obnoxious as he was, in his Halcron purple dominance days. But I think that is enough about the OTA. I actually need help because I have 6K tokens burning in my Marvel Snap account, and I am gonna open for Arashim. Like that was always my plan. So this is like the last opportunity for me to like buy cards this month. I opened for Thena. I got her in 3, and I got Mockingbird out of it too. So it was like all value.
God.
I got like it was great opening. So everything
Insane.
was coming up Roy. So the question is Phastos. All right, this 3/3 6K token series 5 cards on reveal. Give each card in your deck -1 cost or +2 power. Just to be clear for our loyal listeners who have played against the card yet, each individual card gets this roll, right? So, it's random, so each card gets its own thing. And so you it's not like either or. This is not like all of your cards either get -1 cost or all of your cards get +1. Each individual card has its own roll. So, Ava, as the new guest here, you get to start off this discussion of this week's card. Thoughts on the card, and then we'll come around after everyone here, and you can tell me whether I should pass or buy.
So this card is better in theory than when I play. Because you see this card, you say, "Oh, this is strong." You have +2 power, -1 cost. Oh, this is so good, but no, It's not that good. I play a lot of Phastos decks, and it's mid to me because sometimes I want to play another card on turn 3
Mhm.
than Phastos, and sometimes I want to draw another card than Phastos. And when you draw hand like on turn 5, turn 6, you just wanna close your game, you know, because why you don't appear in my head on turn 3? Why? So I don't know if the his effect is going okay. All my cards have +2 power, or all my cards have -1 cost, was better than random steps, you know. So my thought is don't buy this. It's better in theory, but don't work pretty well for me. I play I play some decks, and the only deck I think he's really good is on the surface. And I don't know. You don't need this to play surface.
Tuccrr?
So I think he's an okay card, like Ava was saying. I don't think you need this card. He's going to give you some value next week with Arishem. But like
Is
being locked into having to play this on turn 3, I think it just feels tricky. There's so many other cards that you could play on turn 3 and kind of get your combos, ready for like the end of the game. Whereas like you don't know exactly if you're getting the minus cost or the +2, like what on your like next card. Like, I mean, you're getting one of those, but you don't know if it's truly going to affect your later game. So I like playing some cards that have that like consistency, and I'm saying this as like a Pixie enjoyer. But like with Pixie, I feel like it's different because you're playing this on 2, and your opponent doesn't know necessarily what your card swapped with. So like being able to snap on a Pixie into a potentially a Mobius feels better because your opponent doesn't know exactly what happened. Whereas like with this, like, okay, something got -1 cost, something I got +2 power, so I can kind of plan for that. But I think everyone was just plugging this in Surfer, like Ava was saying. But I feel like there's so many other cards you can run in Surfer to get way better value than Phastos. And there's a lot of cards coming out next season and the next 2 seasons that I think will overall be worth more for 6K tokens than Phastos. He's fun, but not like a necessity card at the moment.
I mean, my take is way stronger. He fucking sucks. This is a bad card. This is a bad Marvel Snap card. Like, you shouldn't be putting him in anything but Thanos. I think he probably goes in Thanos because the upside in Thanos is so big. Because if he does give you a free stone, that free stone's probably going to draw more stuff, and that has enough value in Thanos to be worth it. And like, you're stuck running a little bit of air in Thanos because Thanos is so weird anyway. Like, you draw hope and then nothing, like, and then 6s, and you're like, well, screw you, right? Like, that's just sort of how Thanos works. So like, you're already sort of investing in that variance by playing Thanos, and like, he helps with that when you hit him, because then like, hey, oh my god, I drew one of those 6s, but it costs 5, and now you can win the game, right? So like, this is all fine for that, but like, I've got him in a Moon Girl Surfer list because I'm gonna have to do weekend missions. And then I'm never going to play him again because he's a bad card. Like, this is a bad Marvel Snap card. I'm sorry. Like, everyone's like, but it's good sometimes. Yeah, you know what we call cards that are good in really situational places that really don't win you the game when they're, like, actually good? Bad. So he's bad.
Yeah, forget about the Thanos. I test Thanos list with Phastos and was okay too. So the 2 decks is working. It's like Surfer and Thanos, and you can play without the Phastos
So
easy.
yeah, but like, so the problem with Thanos and Surfer is, right, like, you know what beats Surfer? The shit that reduces all its costs and then drops like Sasquatch and Mockingbird and Death and all that like super expensive stuff that Surfer can't keep up with. So you know what I have to play on 3 in Surfer? Mobius. And if I just played Phastos,
Makes sense.
I didn't play Mobius. And like, sometimes you don't draw
Yeah.
Mobius, that's fine, but like, I'm not winning those games because I played Phastos. Now I'm just losing anyway, so I might as well have a different card that helps me win other matchups. Or, and if I have both, I'm playing Mobius 90% of the time because Mobius is just better. Like, and if Mobius isn't better, then like Nocturne is better, or Red Guardian is better. Like, the chance for this to be great is not, like, So straight up, I'm going to say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Like I'm saying this with my whole chest. Makari is so much better than this card.
Oh.
It is. It's so much better than this card. Makari has real homes in real decks that it makes better.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well, I guess I will
this was my number one card, by the way.
Token.
This is me saying I was so wrong.
Yeah, I mean, because the card does read generically powerful. You know, I definitely see the arguments that you all are making. I think probably the biggest problem that this card has is there's not like a lot of redundancy in its effect, and so it's like not worth building around. And then it's too, as Glazer said, too situational. Like drawing it on 5 is basically like drawing a rock, right? Like,
or you draw it, or you draw it, and it hits a card that's bad for that matchup, right? Or it gives you the +2 strength when you really need the -1 cost, or vice versa.
I think he have two big problems. Is the cost 3 because cost 2 is way
if it
better.
Cost 2, it's broken though. So it's one of those.
But cost 3 is bad, and the energy you don't know. It's a +2 or -1 every card. This is bad.
Yeah, I think this week and last week, Secondary's been playing around with cards that like are dangerously close to being just generically good if they get them wrong.
I mean,
yeah, they clearly aimed, I think, lower on Phastos than they did in Makari, who I think I was right. I was definitely more bullish on her than many of our folks. So I can take a little bit of a victory lap even before she got her little buff.
You still shouldn't buy Makari, but
I'm not buying Makari.
but Makari is a better card than Phastos. Also, please don't like Second Dinner. I don't know if y'all listen, but like, don't make Phastos a 2/3. Like, this card is OP as a 2/3, right? Like, it's bad. No, this is weird design, right? Because it's bad as a 3/3, but like as a 2/3, I'm putting this in every deck.
It's a danger.
What about a 3/5? That's where I think it's more likely to become a 3/5 or 3/4 than to go down.
I don't think I'm playing it as a 3/5. Like, because it's just competing with Nocturne, right? Like, it's competing with the best cards in the game. Like, 3 has become like the spot. They moved all the tech cards and important cards to 3, right? So like if Mobius and Elsa, like, I'm not playing it over these cards. I'm just not.
Well, awesome.
3/6.
This is a great transition. This is a really great transition because like you're just arguing that we need my man Zabu back in his original form, so we can have
3/2 Zabu.
Make 4 cost cards great again. Is definitely what
that would look
Glazer
like.
is saying there. Oh, well, we can talk about that in a second, Glazer, because what are we doing for today's episode?
I picked 10 cards. We're going to go over them, discuss each, and we can decide, and we're trying to decide as a group, one of 3 things. Nerf it and how, buff it and how, or leave it the hell alone and why. Get it? All right. Without further ado, I picked 10 cards, and then y'all are picking a card at the end if you would like to submit one. And we're starting with
my favorite.
So there are 3 cards that didn't change from we did this last November. The same week Alliance came out is the last time we did this. And there are 3 cards still on the list from that time. The first is Loki. Although I had to change Loki because Loki was a 3/5 on the slide. Loki is a 4/5. I'm not reading Loki's text. If you have played Marvel Snap for more than 2 weeks and you don't know Loki's text, I mean, okay, fine. On reveal, replace your hand with transform now, right? Like, not replace, but whatever. It's the same shit. Nothing changes about this. With cards from your opponent's starting deck and give them -1 cost. Should Loki be nerfed? Buffed? Please don't argue Loki should be buffed. Or should we just leave it the hell alone? Ava?
Oh, it's hard to say because I love Loki, so I don't want to say he needs a nerf, you know. But I think he needs a nerf because he's really strong. It's hard to play around. You need mobiles, and sometimes mobiles don't work because the enemy have pick your best cards, and so he beats you with your deck, you know. So I don't know how you nerf these. Loki, it's really hard, really, really hard, because if you change a little, they can be, I don't know, unplayable and or just crush the meta. So I need you guys to help me. How we nerf this card?
If I were to nerf Loki, I would just make it so he can't work with Quinjet.
Hmm.
I would let him have his -1 cost, but just no Quinjet interaction.
So that works. I have a few other options. I think he could be a 3/5 and not give negative cost. I think I'm ultimately fine with that.
This is too much.
Think so? No negative cost?
I think this is too much.
Okay. I think he could be a 5/4 because it remains completely fucking absurd. Like, bonkers that Sarah costs 1 more and has 1 less power than him and is a strictly worse card.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, like, he could just be a 5/4 like Sarah. He could also be a 4/3. Like, if Loki's a 4/3, that's a much worse card. It's still great, right? Yeah. But, like, now you need to do the thing, and it's actually, you have to, like, consider.
Yeah, 4/3, I can see I'm losing one game because they still power.
Yeah, I don't think 4/4 is enough. I think it has to be 4/3. Right?
Well, I guess we are just voting to nerf.
You can disagree. You can try and sell us on.
I think Loki's actually in a pretty good place right now. Like, I think that he's not quite the terrorist of the meta. And I think he's a very hard card to play well. And I think that, but he does come from a school of card types that people tend not to like, which is losing to your own cards, and then also losing to your own cards that are 1 cost cheaper than the ones that are in your hand is a bit of an obnoxious experience. So I get why. I think my hot take on Loki is he is a boogeyman to people. Like, people just don't like the experience of playing against him. So every time you lose against him, you are like, oh yeah, of course I lost to Loki. He's busted. But whether or not Loki is busted or not is like, it does not matter. It's like, it's an a priori assumption that Loki is busted. So if, like, we're just operating from that and we're nerfing, I mean, we have to ask ourselves, like, what is the broken thing about Loki, right? Is it the cost reduction, or is it the getting your opponent's cards, right? And sort of like what is, like, the heart of the card we want to focus on? Like, which experience is it that we get these cheaper cards, or that we get, like, my opponent's cards, or that we just get new cards, right? Like, it could be, like, there's, like, lots of different, like, levers, and you have to ask yourself, like, which is more important. I think, to me, what's important about Loki is getting your opponent's cards. So I think that the cost reduction is what I would take away, and I would figure out, like, what is the appropriate, like, cost for Loki and strength for Loki to make him a playable card, but the cost reductions go. That is sort of where I would sit if I was, like, in Second Dinner's, like, design room on the whiteboard. That is what I would put forward.
I don't care about it either.
Sense.
I just wanted to have less stats. Like, I hate that Loki itself is big.
Yeah, it's 4/5. 4/5 is really good.
Yeah, it's just slightly too generically good for me. All right, let's vote on
5/4.
5/4. I could.
I think at 5/4 you can't also play Snowguard the same turn as Loki, so you're not getting those additional 2 draws. So, like, it's all a turn 5 play, and you're seeing a lot more Lokis on turn 5 right now, I feel, anyways. Or at least maybe I have.
I'd be fine with
5/4. I don't know.
I think if he costs 5, less power, like 4, is too much.
Okay, 5/5.
Costs 5. Yeah, 5/5 or
5/5?
5/6.
I mean, then buff
It's
Sarah. The hell?
Oh, no.
It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense.
Makes sense because Sarah is, like, ongoing, so you always
Loki's
get
just magically happens. Right? Like, it's like
Okay, Glazer, like,
you're not getting that Loki negative on 1 or 2 cards for the rest of the game.
I don't know. Like, I think that they're just fundamentally different cards, right? Like, getting your opponent's cards and subtracting one cost for them is a whole different like play experience than reducing the cost of your own cards that you build.
My argument is that it's stronger because you can and it's stronger not because your opponent's cards are stronger than your cards. It's stronger because you can run generic draw bullshit and you don't care what you get, and then you turn that into more of their cards at reduced cost.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're not wrong, right? The fact that Loki allows you to play like a generic mid-range game and then transform into your opponent's like stuff if that generic mid-range game is not good enough is like one of the most powerful things, right? That's like the Cam Best school, Lambie school of like Loki, right? And other people that is sort of like off the top of my head of people I've seen play Loki. I don't want to criticize or miss out on smaller creators who may have pioneered it before them, but like I get that. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think comparing to the experience of Sarah to Loki is really worth it. Like, I really do think Loki is one of the most unique effects in the game. And, like, you really do, like, want to think about the card itself and what it promotes doing for changing. But I think we should vote about what we're, right? Or are we just saying, like, we are nerfing? Like, or do we need to settle specifically on our solution to the card?
I personally want to nerf how good the body Loki is. What does everyone else think? Are we nerfing the cost reduction, the power of Loki, or some part of the opponent's cards?
I think it's like 4-4. It's okay for me. 4-4. It's okay. It's not hard, and we can, I don't know, test. If this is going strong, stay strong, then they can nerf again, you know? I think for that makes sense, this.
Okay.
Right?
I can live with it as a 4-4.
I just take away Quinjet interaction.
Oh, this is too much.
So
Poor Loki.
So I don't want to take away Quinjet specifically because they took away Collector. Like, I wouldn't hate the Quinjet if we still had Collector. Like, I just think taking away both takes away too much of the card's identity, if that makes sense.
They need to revert the Collector.
They
No.
really should not do that.
No, please do not.
They can take away the cost reduction and make it not work with Quinjet, then they can revert Collector.
Works for me.
Let's just go with 4-4 and call it a day.
Yeah,
sure.
Okay.
All right. So I don't even hate this card, but I keep seeing this. So White Widow is 2/2 Series 5 on reveal at a Widow's Kiss to your opponent's side location. Widow's Kiss is ongoing, has -4 power unless your opponent fills that location. Buff it, nerf it, leave it alone.
I think she's perfect like this. I love this card, and I don't wanna change this. It's perfect like this.
Chuck?
I like the leave it alone too. I don't think she's too much at the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
There's exactly one thing I would change about this card, which is that its base art is the ugliest base art that they've released. It is absolutely I actively put money in the machine to buy a variant for this card. Like I was just like, no, I'm just buying a variant. Like I cannot look at this card. Like I think this is one of the best design cards they've released in a long time. I think it has so many interesting plays and pressure points. I get it can be annoying, right? But I think though there's like ways to play around it, particularly in this like zoom meta that we're in, that adding a card to your opponent's side can be actually a problem, right? Like your opponent fills that lane and they get the buff on it, right? Is like it can be a problem for you. So I think there's like a lot of interesting things. I think this card is actually a way more fun version of her sister's effect. Of the Natasha design. So like I am like aggressively do not change this card. And like if people are like, this card is the problem with Marvel Snap, I say this with love and respect. you need to rethink like what you think are problems in Marvel Snap. Like you like really need to take some time and like think about how you think about cards and like re-examine like your priors.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this is so rude, but like I honestly think it's true. I think it's a skill issue. Like I think White Widow really beats bad players. Like I think they over-index on turning off the -4, and like it makes it a very negative play experience for them. I genuinely believe that like White Widow is. I don't think so. Not only do I think White Widow doesn't need to be nerfed, I don't think it's that good. It's a good card, but like, it ain't the best 2 in the game. Is it the third
It's
best
balanced.
2 in the game? Maybe.
All right.
Right?
I am Glazer. I agree with you. And as the resident bad player on this podcast, I will provide advice to my other bad player friends. Just play Destroy. Like if you really hate playing against this card, just play Destroy. Like Destroy has like a built-in answer. Like your obviously don't play Venom into that lane, but
Unless it's
this
gonna
gives
fill
you a
it.
Carnage. Yeah, unless it's going to fill it. Does that work that way, or does it? I don't know the sequencing. So I don't want to just no. We're saying bad players here, Glazer. Like, all right, you have an extra thing that your Deathlock kills. You have an extra thing for your Carnage, right? Like, you just play Destroy. Like, if you are having such a bad experience, and you'll be playing a strong deck that plays well into like a lot of things, and it's sometimes, like deck's good for people like us, fellow bad players. So. I think we can move on to card number 3.
Black Swan 3/5 on reveal until the end of next turn. Your 1-cost cards cost 0.
Okay, this card needs a buff.
Okay.
This card needs a buff.
What's the buff?
I'm thinking about a buff they can change. It's like 2 costs. I think 2 costs is really nice because we can make a lot of stuff if these 2 costs.
Invisible Woman Hazmat and Odin for free on the last turn.
No, this is so.
That
This
seems
is so
like
nice.
a really, really, really broken idea.
No, it's not next turn 2 cost card. It's she cost 2.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Okay. Well, not for 5, but yeah.
Yeah, like
not for 5. Yeah.
Like a 2/3 or a 2/4.
Yeah, because 3 is too heavy to play. And you want to play some small stuff.
You can fix her by making
3,
Beast a 3/4 with his old ability. Sorry.
Yeah, and 3 is heavy to bounce. She too. So if it costs 2, we can play 8 and Beast, the Black Swan, and play again. So it's pretty nice. And I love this card, but it's heavy to play.
Yeah, 2/3 is really solid. Like, and that's when she first came out before they changed her in the video. She was a 2/3. And I think if you make her 2/3, maybe you can make Werewolf even better in a sense too. Like, get some more Werewolf value with that bouncing around. And like you said, she's just too heavy right now at the 3 cost. And I don't know. I think 2/3 would just be perfect.
Yeah. Then we can see some Werewolf decks again. I love Werewolf, but I have some issues.
For me, I love this card. It's one of my favorite unplayed cards in Marvel Snap. I've gotten a lot of pleasure playing the like combo Black Swan Zoo deck. Like I just like really enjoyed it. I think maybe they did this on purpose because they were afraid of how bad Black Swan could be. Like I think if this, they have to be careful, right? Because anything that says like cards cost 0 can be busted, right? Like so they need to kind of be careful. I definitely agree that maybe lowering their 2 costs. I think the biggest problem is actually the other Zoo support cards that they've released, like Gilgamesh, who's proven to be sort of like the return of sort of like Zoo as a powerful deck in the meta, like has poor synergy with Black Swan. Right? You can't like, I guess you can like kind of do like, Khazar on 4, and then that's your like trigger for Gilgamesh, right? And like sort of get away from sort of this gives you maybe an alternative if you don't draw your Blue Marvel, right? Like, but it's like those decks haven't really proven to be good. So I actually think like, yeah, lowering your 2 cost is like inarguably good. Like again, cutting 1/3 of the cost, awesome, right? But I think actually what this card needs is just more Zoo support cards that make sense to play with her. So like I'm not like thirsty for a Black Swan change. I'm more thirsty for other designs that support her play style. So, but I'm happy with the buff, right? Like I support the buff, but I'm sort of like I think even the buff won't really do what we want it to do without more payoffs for what she is asking your deck to do.
Yeah, I agree. We need some cards to have combos with Black Swan, but if she costs 2, we have pretty good things we can do and can put this card on meta because you say about the Gilgamesh, we can play with this card and bounce Chi with a lot of 1-cost cards and bounce the Monkey, and then we can put some Gilgamesh in the same deck. I don't know. You can create some strange stuff with the Black Swan and work pretty well. In my head, I can see if she costs 2, I think changed a lot, and we can really use. She can really useful.
Can I offer an alternate change? What if, because this is a
Okay.
replacement effect, Mobius couldn't stop it? It's not reducing.
Yeah, this is great. This is
It's
great.
still 3/5, but like, because it can't be a 2/3 with that ability. That's insane. But like, it stays 3/5, which is a worse stat line than 2/3, at least for this card. And then like, even though it's a 3/5, it just ignores Mobius. It just happens.
Yeah, these can be good, but I don't know because you play these only to attack Mobius. So if you don't face Mobius, sometimes it's better to play another stuff, you know?
I think the 2/3 is probably better. I just wanted to offer a different perspective as an option. Just honestly.
Yeah. okay, I take that.
So 2/3?
Yeah,
Sure.
2-3.
For me, 2-3 right now, it's nice, but I agree with Roy.
I thought it was going to get changed because it's in Spotlight, but they did Herc instead. They're going to regret that decision. Next.
I think they'll end up regretting the
Ravonna.
Black Swan's decision. They get too aggressive with their tip. Yeah,
I don't
Ravonna.
think that 2/3. I think that whatever. Ravonna is 2/3 ongoing. Your cards with 1 or less power cost 1 less. Who would have thought Ravonna would eventually be broken? Oh right, everyone. So Ava, lead us off.
I'm thinking.
We can have Tuck start.
These
Tuck, want to lead us off?
Yeah.
I have a
do
hot
you
take if folks don't have their opinion ready. So
let's hear the hot take first. Actually, yeah.
no changes. Like I think this card's fucking awesome and needs to stay in the game. Right? I think that this card enables like so many cool things, and Professor X no longer working with her gets rid of most of the really obnoxious things that this card does, and this is the kind of cool cost reduction that you want in the game. It asks you to ask interesting questions of yourself, your deck. So I'm all about no changes to Ravonna. So now y'all can fight about how she should be nerfed, because I know that's most likely what the other 3 of you are going to want to do, but I'm going to be out here standing for my girl, Miss Minute's best friend,
I mean,
Ravonna Renslayer.
I'll answer. I don't think she needs like her ability change. I just think 3 power is aggressive for something with this powerful of an effect. Like, I'd be fine
That's
with
fair.
2 or 1. Like, generally speaking, if your effect is overwhelmingly positive, you shouldn't have a positive stat line. And 2/3 is still a positive stat line. And I don't think it needs to have negative power. I think 2/2 or 2/1 is fine.
Yeah, 2-2. I agree with 2-2. But one thing came in my head is why she's a 2-3 and Zabu not, you know? they take out Zabu to cost and leave She, So I don't know. I think this card is good right now. And 2-2 is okay. 2-3 it's okay too. If they don't nerf this, it's okay. I think it's not a problem actually. She don't see game like I don't know how many times we see this card before come up this meta, but I like this card. It's okay.
Yeah, I was thinking 2-2. That was my change. Is just knock off one power.
Awesome. All right, Roy, you're outvoted. Ravona's going down one. I don't think it's
That's
a terrible
totally
card.
fine.
I just genuinely.
I think to double back to what Ava said, her stat line was created in an era with Zabu, still was Zabu, right? It was asking you to Dex did play both, but it was really for redundancy for Zabu. You were like, do I really love this Ravona? But
a backup Zabu.
A backup Zabu. But so she needed to be juiced a little bit to be like, hey, there's another cost reduction card here. Please build your deck around this. And now that, although we'll get to this in a second about Zabu, I'm sure, and my hot take about him. Going down to a 2-2 or 2-1, I'm not crying. I think the key thing for me is that ongoing should stay. That's kind of what I care about primarily is the ongoing, her exact body. Doesn't matter. Goo.
So I'm first. Mockingbird is the next card. Series 5, 5/9, costs 1 less for each of your cards and play that didn't start in your deck. A few weeks ago on the podcast, we ranked every card released this year, and I was told that Red Hulk was better than Mockingbird, and I want my fucking apologies. I wish I knew who was on that podcast with me. But Mockingbird is so much better than I was Mockingbird is definitely better than Red Hulk. They were no way. And I was no, Mockingbird is fucking had the same conversation with Docty. And Docty's never right about this. Should have known. He's on next week, by the way. So, Docty will be right next week. But this time he was wrong. So no, Mockingbird is better than Red Hulk. Mockingbird creates 17 new decks, and Red Hulk just sort of goes on top of some shit that's already good. Mockingbird is at worst right now a top 3 card in Marvel Snap. And I might be being conservative.
She's the best card in the game.
Yeah, she's one of the best. I agree. And
Ravona's
say
up there.
that. And I have to say that I think the Mockingbird don't need the nerf, don't need the change. It's okay for me like this. I don't see these see a lot of problem because mobiles counter she very hard, so we have a tools to deal with. So it's okay. It's okay. It's a good card.
I would knock off a power or 2 off Mockingbird, make her a 5/8 or a 5/7.
Every card doesn't have to be flat power level, right? But stature requires a lot more work to become a 1/7. Mm-hmm. I think I would make her a 6/9. And just
6/9 is it's okay, but
so
I don't know.
You know what I don't
take power.
Well, you know what I don't like about her? That they printed Sasquatch 2 months later. I don't think you need redundancy here. You know what I mean? Because they don't trigger the same way, but they trigger close enough to the same way that when you ran Mockingbird and Death in the same deck, you had to do some work to put those together. There's no work to running Mockingbird and Sasquatch in a deck. Those cards just go together. And I think being ooh, I can play 19 power for 3 energy is kind of shit. It's kind of shit. Right? It's just it's I don't know, I have to do so much work for 19 power most of the time, right? And it's just 3 energy for playing cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but 1 card and boom.
Yeah, I know.
Counter.
Sure, but 1 card and boom enabled. Because there's also Mysterio.
Makes sense. I don't know. 6/9 is okay, but take power.
That's where
I don't know.
So I like it being powerful. I like having, again, like if they didn't print Mockingbird, Sasquatch, I'd be arguing for Lulu. But they did. So I'm arguing for 6'9", and I could see it being 5'8" also.
I can take that. For me, it's okay. I agree. It's a
Well,
good
if
point.
it's 6'9", then it's still a 3 when you play Mysterio. And like a 3'9" feels bad, but a 2'9" is like, Jesus Christ, really? Didn't we just nerf Angela for getting close to that?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. This card is gross. Alright. We're gonna agree on 6'9" and move on?
Yeah, I'm here for it.
For me, it's okay.
Ian?
6'9" is nice.
Okay, I'll take it.
It is nice.
Nice. Alright.
It's not bad.
We're all very mature. Let's do Makari. So this is literally here because the Snapcast is fighting with the Snapchat about this for some reason, and I'm going to misrepresent the shit out of everyone's perspectives. But this is Makari. Makari is 3/4. After the turn, runs from your hand to a random location. Snapcast, Snapchat. Yeah, the cozy and Alex shit. That one. Not shit. I'm not trying to be mean to them. Shit, it means stuff in this context, not shit meaning negative. Just to be clear, so no one thinks I'm throwing shade. Argued, apparently and supposedly, that Makari is a card on the level of Howard the Duck. And thus should be 3/5 or 3/6. The Snapcast?
What?
I don't know the names of things anymore. The shit with KM and Brandon, and again, not shit meaning negative, says that would break the damn card, leave it alone. I am interested in the panel's takes on what should happen to Makari if it's good enough, if it needs a buff.
Okay, Makari for me, 3/4, it's okay, but I think she needs a buff. Like 3/5, it's really nice. 3/5 is really nice because it's random where she's going. So one power seems better to me. Sometimes you lose because
You want this to be a 3/5?
Yeah,
Okay.
3/5 seems okay
Seems
to me.
okay? What deck
because
does this not go in?
I lose a lot of games because she's going to a bad location. So
there's like one bad location. 3/5. Okay.
Because when I play a deck with Makari, I don't know. She always clog myself. I have one spot, and boom,
stop
she's
clogging your
spot.
lanes when you know Makari's in your deck.
So it's so sad. So for me, she's not that good, and she needs a little power. It's okay.
I don't think you believe that. Okay.
Really, because I don't know. Sometimes you draw Makari and you want, I don't know why I draw this card. Another card was better than this, so I don't put sheets a lot of decks into work for me because sometimes happen this. I prefer another card than she. So I don't know, 3/5 seems nice. Like Nocturna is 3/5 and is insane.
Yeah, but
why Makari is not a 3/5?
Because you know how many decks.
It's like
what decks do you play Nocturne in?
All my decks.
All the decks. That's why Makari is not a 3/5. Because
but Makari is a Hinji. Where she go?
Sure, and sometimes Nocturne loses you a game.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
Tuck, help us out here.
So I see the argument for both, and I think like as a 3/5, it could be potentially an auto include, which is like what we were talking about like earlier in the episode. I'm not saying you're always going to auto include, but like I feel like at a 3/4, I'm kind of okay with Makari because like at the end of the day, getting her from a random location, okay. Getting her from, Camp Lehigh, getting her from District X, getting her from Arishem. Like, I'm not going to put this card in my deck at 3/4. I think it would be fun to see everyone running Makari and to see Makaris fly over the board, lose people games, and win people games. Like, that'd be fun.
Really fun.
But I don't necessarily have a problem with this card. Like, I don't like. Is it a better M'Baku or is it same tier as M'Baku kind of thing? I feel like that's kind of more the case. Like, if you buff Makari, do you buff M'Baku? Like,
I think I'm like 3 tiers higher than all of you on where Makari is right now. I think Makari is like a little worse than. Here, I'm going to look up cards. Give me a minute. I need to look up some Spotlight caches. I need to look up Spotlight caches. I just need to see a bunch of Spotlight caches. Go ahead.
She had the worst Spotlight variant, by the way.
Yeah, her base art is like my favorite base art of the game.
Yes,
her base
it's
art
incredible.
is
Very good base art. It's the polar opposite of White Widow. Her Spotlight cache is kind of mid. But I think that this card's very dangerous. It's like we've seen how good, like, why is my name of Corvus girl, Glaves girl, Proxima Midnight? There we go. Like how, like,
I think
value Proxima.
I think she's as good as Proxima Midnight.
I think
different decks. But I think she's as good
in different decks. But yeah, but we've also seen that like value Proxima can be a thing. I don't quite think value Makari can quite be a thing in the same way that value because there's. But
I mean, that deck exists. There's that deck that runs like just Proxima and other discard stuff that also runs Makari.
Yeah, so
Regis's list.
Yeah, I am worried about changing this card at all. Do we really want?
It's about as good as Valentina
cards to be good. Like this card is, there's drawbacks to it. And Ava's done a great job of highlighting the drawbacks. It doesn't trigger Thena for good or for ill, right? It doesn't trigger Angela, right? But it runs into things that normally things can't get into, which is bad if it's what's the one that you lose if you have lower power or higher power, but good in almost every other location. Bar with no name. There we go. But good in almost every other location unless it's filling you up when you don't want it to be filled. So I think that this card just needs to stay the same. This is design space that they just don't need to come back to. Because again, do you want free cards to be powerful? Because that is just asking is once you could raise this to 5 or you raise it to, God help you, 6 or something, right? Yeah, I would be okay with for 100, no other enabler other than drawing this card. So you can have it out as early as turn 1 and it can set your game plan forward. Do we really want that in the game? I think this is about as where it should be.
Yeah, I think 3/4 is okay. 3/5 is good. I was expecting she get buffed because I didn't see this card too much. And I play a lot. I play a lot, you know. So I don't face a lot of Makaris. So I don't know.
So you know what card makes Makari really rough? This is going to be really roundabout. But I think the problem with Makari is ultimately that Mobius is a card, and Moon Girl really, 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 really hates Mobius. I think Makari is genuinely an A-level card in Moon Girl decks, and we've had metas where Moon Girl decks were the meta. But anytime Moon Girl decks get good now, it's just oh wait, look, it's Mobius. Never mind.
I was playing a Moon Girl deck with She-Hulk and Makari, and I just put something to counter Mobius, Lady Death Strike and Head Guardian, so it's 100% I killed this.
Fuck that card. Yeah, but I think Makari is excellent in Moon Girl list. Just the the hand space management is so big in those lists. Like it's good in Sandman and it's good in Surfer. It's not needed for either of those. It's probably not in the best version. It's probably in the best version of Sandman, but like that doesn't matter. I think that Moon Girl decks could be meta with Makari, and like I don't know. This is a good card, man. Like this is just a good card. It keeps winning me games. I don't know how to explain it other than that. I'm playing it in the Moon Girl Surfer that Snap variants made.
I don't know. It's that good.
Is that great? It's Valentina, where it's just like it's got a deck where it fits, and most of the time you don't run.
Did you see the Wong Mystique Moon Girl Makari clip?
No.
Where they had like 7 different Makaris.
Yes, I did see that. I did see that. Look, my only like win that Phastos got me, like the only time Phastos won me a game, it's because it gave Makari +2 strength, and I drew Makari on turn 6. And there was only one space left, and Makari ran, and was like,
Imagine draw Makari -1 cost.
Yeah. It's like, oh, lucky me. Which is why, again, Phastos is a terrible card, right? Like,
and Makari is good. Let's go.
Makari's not great. It's a good card. Like, it's a C
like
plus card, right? Like, that's a perfectly fine card. I think Phastos is like a D.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd leave this alone. I think if this was a 3/5, I think you can call her Makari the baby Lanchar. She's going in every
It's
day.
okay for me. She 3/4 is okay for me. I like this card. It's not a bad card. I don't have a lot of success playing, but I can
but
see
you don't play Surfer.
this card is okay.
You like never play Surfer.
Yeah, because I hate Surfer.
Right.
But I play a little Surfer after Phastos, so I cut Makari to put Phastos.
Cut a mediocre card for a bad card. That's how you win games of Snap.
Yeah, but now I see Phastos don't work pretty well.
Moon Girl Surfer is kind of hilarious because when you Moon Girl, like I clearly Moon Girling to double Surfer. No one accounts for double Surfer. It's ridiculous. Like good players don't account for double Surfer. Like I'll like be like Moon Girl Sarah, and then I'm just like Surfer Brood. Okay, I win. Thanks. Or Brood Surfer. Like all right, thanks for coming.
This is me. This is so
yeah,
me.
it's fucking ridiculous. It's really strong. No one's playing it either, but like it keeps winning. All right, we can ditch Makari now. We're leaving it alone, I think, right? Anyone want to argue for?
Okay.
All right. We're gonna have to let Roy start.
Oh.
Zabu is a Series 4 card. I forgot to delete the season pass. This is another card that's been here since the original version of this. This is the second of them. Until the end of your turn, your next 4-cost card costs 1 less. They say they have the change they want to make, but for reasons, they haven't implemented it yet. So,
yeah.
I mean, we're all going to argue this needs to be buffed. How does this need to be buffed, Roy?
Go back to old Zabu.
Wait, which one?
Please.
The one, but the last
2/2.
the most balanced one.
2/2.
The 2/2, yeah, the 2/2 one. Old Zab, the before this sort of nerf came down. I think actually the biggest problem is a problem of Second Dinner's own making, which is Zabu was a legal card for so long that so many cards were designed with Zabu like existing in mind, and including like every 4-cost card that they printed from when Zabu existed to when they nerfed it, which was 3 months ago now, 4 months ago. So like basically all of 2022 and 2023's 4-cost cards were designed like with Zabu existing, and they haven't really been rearranged in that way. And so like it just sort of depowered a whole cost slot when it got nerfed. And I think that's kind of frustrating. And it's a really, like, I think at its core, Zabu, like, by asking you, like, build your deck around 4-cost cards is a really interesting thing to ask you to build your deck around. And I think the game is at a point where, because everything was so balanced around Zabu, that it may not be the best thing to do. It would be one of the best things to do. I think inarguably Zabu will always be one of the best things to do. But I think there's enough other best things to do that Zabu will not be as ubiquitous. I could be wrong, but I think that the game is more interesting with Zabu than the game is without it. So bring back my favorite cat.
So they're not going to put it back, though. Right? Like they said, we have something new.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're... I mean, if it's like completely new...
Zabu.
They said different. They didn't say... They said, we know what we're going to do, we just haven't done it yet. With the implication being that it's different. If they make it a fucking 3-3 and this is the whole holdup and it's the exact same card as it used to be, but it's a 3-3, I'm going to be so pissed.
Yeah.
That's a big change. What if it was something like 2-3, but on reveal, your next 4-cost card costs 1 less. Not until the end of your next turn, but whenever the next time you play a 4-cost card.
That's still a terrible card.
It's still terrible? Yeah. Even though you don't have to, say your opponent plays something that you're like, oh, I need to play Shadow King next turn.
Yeah, it's still bad.
And
still bad.
You can,
the one I keep hearing is the first 4 you play each turn costs 1 less.
Sure.
Which I don't like.
That basically means it's the same Zabu except on turn 6-7.
Yeah, on turn 6
right?
Specifically. Yeah.
Well, yeah, 6. Yeah.
Because
that. Sure. I mean, that's definitely better than what it is now, and is. But how about our guests, Ava, Tuccrr? Thoughts about everybody's favorite giant cat?
I love Zabu, and they kill the Zabu. I don't know why. It's really sad. I want the old Zabu. Back.
3-2.
It's like I think it's the 3-2 and costs 4 cards cost 2.
That's what you want back? Okay.
No, just kidding.
Okay, let's go. Light this meta on fire.
Let's go with back old Spider-Man, old Hulk.
I wonder what it would be like now, though, right? Like, so much of the context has changed.
Yeah, Abs, Spider-Man, old Spider-Man, and Abs-Man in the same turn. So, to break the meta again. No, just kidding. I want the 2-2 Zabu one going. For me, it's really okay. It's really good. And bring a lot of decks back and some new stuff too. This on reveal is not good. On reveal to the next card you play, or I don't know, until the end of turn.
What if it's on reveal? All the 4-cost cards in your hand cost 1 less.
Until the end of turn?
No, just for the rest of the game.
Oh,
if you have 4s in hand, they cost 1 less. But if you draw a 4...
Yeah. That's make.
It means if you're playing Zabu, you're playing a very heavy 4 deck, because you don't do that for 2 4s.
This is a thing. Yeah. I like this.
I got a crazy one.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Okay.
I got 3-3 on reveal. Your 4-cost cards cost 2 less for next turn.
Oh, let's go. I think
you get 1 turn of craziness.
Yeah.
I can live with that too. I'm fine with either of those 2 changes.
Yeah, you play 2 4.
I don't want to look. The real thing I want is I want it to just go back to what it was for after they fixed it the first time. I think it was perfectly fine, but I don't think that's reasonable. I don't think that's the expectation. So I'm fine with either the 3-3 on reveal get the old effect, or the any 4s in hand get -1 power cost for the rest of the game. Excuse me.
And I bet they do something like they rework him with the activate function. I think that's a rumor I've seen.
Ugh.
Of course, we don't know what the activate's going to be, but I've seen people think about that, and
man,
could be interesting.
If activate isn't what we think it is, I'm going to be very surprised. Like, very surprised. It just seems like reading the card, it seems obvious.
I think we'll save again activate for its own topic because again, I'm like not interested in arguing about like is it going to have mana cost or is it not going to have mana cost. Yes, I'm just going to use the Magic terminology here tonight. So let's move on to card number.
Wait, we didn't decide on what to do with Sabu.
Oh.
What's the change?
I take the Tuccrr 3/3.
On reveal, force cost 2 for the next turn.
Okay, so you play that on turn 5 and just drop 3 force. Yeah. All right, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
The last card that has repeat. Oh no, this isn't the last card that's repeated. I guess 4 have repeated. We gotta talk about Shang, right? Like it's a requirement for this type of video that we talk about Shang. And
is it a requirement?
I will fucking not read Shang-Chi to people. If you have played Marvel Snap for 3 days and you don't know what Shang-Chi does, holy shit. All right. So, should anything happen to Shang-Chi?
I think she's okay like this to me. Don't need to be nerfed or buffed. Just, it's okay. It's, you need this. You know, you need this card.
Yeah. It's good.
I agree. Leave this card alone or pull it back down to 9.
That's what I was going to say. Leave as is or pull down to 9. But I'm thinking leave as is.
I just think you just leave it as is. Like 10 is just a better number than 9. Like it should have always just been 10. Like they should have just like I don't know what like maybe they were like they had like did a team building exercise at like an edibles dispensary or something like when they were like designing Shang-Chi. Like come on, it should have always been 10. It's a great card. You're the one who wanted to talk about it. It did not need to be talked about. Like the whole game.
I wasn't sure if anyone. Look, we've had people. I think that is an obvious answer as well. But we have had many a guest be like, "Shang needs to be changed." Like, and so I like.
Have we?
Yeah,
like,
a lot. Like a lot of people.
Sure.
Like, we're all members of this community. How often do you on the shit app, the bird one? Do you go on and be like, Shang needs to be 5 cost or hit 12 power or hit both sides or like all this dumb like
I mean both sides would be very interesting, but it would be a
please.
I think that Shang is basically perfect design and kind of always has been. The one power is just rebalancing how the game's power works. And we're still feeling reverberations from that, right? There's still cards that are unplayable because they haven't been updated yet because Shang's powers. And that changed the dynamics of the entire game. But like I think Shang is basically fundamentally perfect. It's one of the best designs in a card game. It's the Valar Morghulis of Marvel Snap, which is a thing that...
Oh my god, please, no Thrones references for no one who gets it.
Which is a thing that was just for...
I'm sorry. We're not going down that rabbit hole. Anyway, all right, Thina.
House of Dragon is right. I'm just trying to get us that extra sweet...
which is really good, by
I'm
the
not
way.
watching that bullshit. All right, the first episode with the fucking weird baby birth dragon.
Yeah, it was not a good look.
It was just like, fuck you. I can't deal with your stupid old man George Martin bullshit. Have a great life, bro.
I mean, that wasn't even Martin. That was a decision they made on their own.
Sure it was. This is so Martin writing.
No, I mean, I'm just serious. Like, I've read Fire and Blood. Like, it's not like a big deal that Emma died there. Like, I mean, it's obviously a big like character moment, but it wasn't like George spent. There's way grosser things that are in Fire and Blood.
Yeah, fair.
That are in the second season of House of Dragon.
All
They
right.
are George.
Thina.
Blood and cheese, friends. Blood and cheese.
Oh,
Anyway.
God. Fucking weird old dude. All right. Thina. 2/1, Series 5. After each turn, plus 3 power if you played exactly... Excuse me, that should say 2 cards. I just don't know how to type. Exactly
I fixed
2
it.
cards.
I thought I fixed it.
You might have fixed
already...
it, but like I had already shared it. Sorry. So should Thina change?
Probably no. I think she's good right here. It's okay.
She's okay.
It's not a big deal. It's a good card. You need to play 2 cards, so she needs these 3 plus power, you know, because you need to play exactly 2 cards. So it's okay for me.
Yeah, she's okay. As is. I agree.
Right.
I love this card, and I think specifically nerfing Angela takes like a lot of the pressure off the need to change this card. Because like kind of throwing Thina in one lane and then like doing your Angelus stuff in the other lane and it triggering Athena, and you sort of like have one lane without any effort. I think, that could be a little obnoxious sometimes, but I think, again, Shadow King, Shang-Chi, like a variety of other Valkyrie, like all do a good job of like keeping this card like in check. And the 2 cards is I've played a lot of Athena. She's a fun card to play. Like number go up and you're always playing 2 cards. Like that's really fun, right? But like your sequencing can get screwed up. Like when to stop triggering your Athena to do other things is a really interesting and critical pressure point for players of all skill levels. And cards that like ask you to sort of like to when to do the thing and when not to do the thing are really interesting cards, right? With a lot of reward. Because like just always going for Athena will get you some cubes, but won't get you sustained cubes. And learning like when to play 3 cards, when to play 1 card, right? And the fact that she chokes you on powerful cards like Shang-Chi. Like Shang-Chi can be good in Athena decks, but as a 4-cost, 3-strength card, it's sometimes awkward to fit into your like hitting 2 cards curve. So like I think she should stay where she is. I imagine she won't. I imagine she's going to get changed based on, again, Glazer said on the Elon app, people have strong feelings about her. I can imagine her becoming like a 2/2 and gaining 2 power or something like that. But I don't think that's what should happen, but I imagine something like that will.
This is 2 nerfs because don't work with the Ravonna and the power stuff.
I think if it were going to be nerfed, it would just be a 2-0. I think that's the only nerf that I'd even really consider. I'd have to look through every card released this year, but I'm pretty sure this is my favorite card released this year. Like, I really enjoy playing this card. I think it creates a fun minigame. I know Glenn specifically likes having quests on cards. I think he calls it quests. And I think it's a really fun quest. I don't think it's the best card released this year. Like, Mockingbird and Nocturne were both released this year, and Sage is almost certainly a better card too. But, like, I really enjoy it. I don't think it's the best card this month, because I think Cersei might be better. But, like, I think that it is, like, really fun. Like, you do things and number go up, and then you have to decide when not to do things and deal with the number no go up. Good design. I think it will be a 2-0.
She does not work with Mysterio, right?
I mean, if you have 1 lane blocked off, or 1 lane with Dark Dimension or Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
Which are things I have done.
Okay. So she generally does not work with Mysterio.
Generally does not.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, good.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean...
So we're all on Leave It the Hell Alone?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a podcast of excellent taste. You want to leave Shang and Athena alone? Let's go. All right. The other card we're legally obligated to talk about changing.
Oh my god.
Oh.
We have to talk about Kang. Don't blame me. I didn't make the rules of Marvel Snap. I'm not Ben Brode. Ben Brode clearly made Kang as a meme to the community. Be like, change this, fuckers. Big bad? You want big bads? On reveal, look at what your opponent did, then restart the turn about Kang. This is the worst card of Marvel Snap.
Okay, so I'm gonna start.
Wait, hold on. Kang is one-sided now? Like, your opponent can't take back? Because
your opponent can still take back. They can always take back.
Yeah, well, that's not... That wording is super weird.
The wording of the card, man.
Yeah, I mean, is it... Like, I played this card plenty, but, like, I didn't quite realize that's how it's worded. But anyway, go ahead.
All right.
Okay, so...
What do we make Kang do?
Oh, okay. This guy... When these cards go out, I play, like, a lot. And sometimes I win snapping. And my enemy just, okay, I don't want to play. And they leave. But this is not enough for this guy, you know? I don't know what they can make with Kang, because I love Kang the Conqueror. I love this. But I have no idea, guys. I have no idea what changed to make Kang playable. Because the idea is nice. but when you play, it's not nice. So I have no idea. They need to put something. I don't know. I have no idea. It's like Galactus.
Ready?
You have a. What do you have?
When you
for
draw
us?
Kang, you can play it to a location. It's gonna like Mysterio itself. It's gonna be one of like 3 cards. When you draw it, you know which card it is, and you play it, but your opponent doesn't.
But he have.
Yeah, he's like a regular card. He's just like 3 different cards.
So it's like a combination of
Like one of the,
Mysterio and what's her name and Snowguard.
Yeah, slash Nico.
Why is my Nico?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nico
like
Snowguard.
you play her, right? Like you play Kang, and it shows as a 5/0, right, or a 4/0. I don't care, whatever it costs. And then one is like a 5/9. One is like a I don't know, Blue Marvelish effect, or oh, you know what would be really good for this? A Mr. Fantastic effect, because right. And then the last one is I don't know, whatever.
Spoilers there.
Yeah, sorry. And then the last one is whatever else we can think of for Kang. Discard a card from your hand, and Kang gains that much power plus his whatever base power. Right? Apocalypse, because he's got that old ancient Egypt shit. I don't know, something like that. But it's one of 3 cards, not 50, one of 3 cards, and your opponent doesn't get to know what it is, but you do. That feels very Kang to me.
Yeah, but this is very strong to
He's
me.
a big bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Thanos too. Galactus too.
I think
they were
if
both
you're gonna,
the
like,
best
I think
card in the game for a minute.
the core
Yeah,
idea that Aaron has, I think, is a good one. I think the problem is, like, for the card to be balanced, it needs, like, they're going to be shitty. They're going to be way shittier. So, like, it'll be like Captain America's old text, and like
Captain America,
where it's like +1 to that row, right? Like
Captain America,
and then,
Mr.
like,
Fantastic, and then just power.
Yeah, I mean that could be it. Like, but it's gonna be +1. It's gonna be like not +2, right? Because Reed is +2.
I
right?
think he could be Reed.
Uh,
He's a 5/4 that gives him +2 to each side. Fine, great. 5/5, whatever.
Change all 3 locations on reveal.
So Legion?
No, but all random locations.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
No, more RNG.
More
no,
RNG.
No, please, no. No, please.
I mean, again, these are all like. I think Kang either stays what he is and just is what he is. Like, this is just a silly card that people can use that thematically fits Kang the Conqueror, or we just fundamentally change him. Like, and it could be, once you do that, it could be what Tuccrr just suggested. It could be what Glazer just suggested. It could be your dreams. Like, it's going to be something Second Dinner does that's something completely different, right? Like if this is an in or out, and I don't think it's worth Second Dinner's time to change Kang. Like, I just...
Oh, I do.
I bought him day one.
Me too.
With tokens.
Lavin convinced us.
I
also love Kang as a villain. So
it's worth their time, because, like, the community will celebrate from the rooftops. Like, they get so little good publicity. Like, if they were like, hey, we don't have a lot to do right now, but you know what we've done? We've completely reworked Kang. Please enjoy. How happy would everyone be? Like, everyone would be like, fucking Second Dinner finally did something right. Maybe things are turning around. Like, bro, can you believe how cool Kang is now? And, like, he's got a cool animation, and he's, like, everyone would be so excited. Like, I think that there is so much upside. Like, if I was Second Dinner, since, like, okay, here's my general take. I've said this in places that Tuccrr has seen. I think it's generally a good thing for a company to have people be excited when they release a patch. And that patches are now nothing burgers is generally not good for them. Because, like, when they release a patch, that if, like, once they release, like, 4 or 5 patches in a row that are just nothing, no one's going to care when patches are announced. I think they should do like one cool rework of patch at Phastos.
That's a lot of work. They don't have the design team for that. Like they just don't. There's not enough
they
people there.
100% do. They 100% because it's basically designing an extra new card a month, and they can obviously design cards, right? Like a redesign is just a different card, and you're slapping it on the freaking original card that already exists. I think the community would be beyond thrilled. They're basically, and then you sell it as, hey, you're not getting a new card a month, but you're getting fundamentally something new to play every month for free from us. We want you to be excited for these patches. We want you to be happy with this game. Take this, have fun. And like, I'm pretty sure Cassandra Nova is going to be a giant ass of a card unless Arishem is incredible. But like, it's free, so people are going to be super hyped. Right? Like, these don't have to be meta-breaking cards. I bet, but the community would explode with joy. When's the last time the Marvel Snap community exploded with joy? When they gave us 8,000 gold back for when they messed up Gambit.
Oh my god! All right.
Everyone got a
Let's
free kitty pride.
Yeah.
Let's
Right.
move on.
All right.
If we're
We can
talking
move
about
on.
8,000 gold. What?
Card proposal. You each get to propose one. To buff, nerf, or I mean, I guess there's no point in proposing something to leave alone. You know what we should leave alone? I don't know. Silver Surfer. Great. Congratulations. Great conversation. What should we buff or nerf? Options in case you're having trouble: Sage, Sasquatch, Apocalypse, Werewolf, Monkey, Cersei, and Nihilus, Blink, Aerishaw. I just didn't want to leave you hanging to try and come up with cards. What we got?
Moon Knight.
Ooh.
You wanna?
Yeah.
What?
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
What's your take? I'm assuming you don't want to nerf him.
No, I want to completely change Moon Knight. I've talked about it actually on the podcast before. Is I would give him 3 different abilities, kind of like the way Nico interacts and the way that Kate Bishop's interact, but more on the lines of Nico with spells, since he has 3 different personalities. He has 4 different personalities, but I would have one of them still be discard. I would have one of the abilities be like a destroy ability, and then another ability be like a gain power ability. Not necessarily sure which of, maybe a targeted discard, maybe it's the leftmost card in your hand, or maybe keep the original discard ability as one of the personas for your hand and your opponent's hand. The destroy function be either destroy one card in your lane or maybe one card in each lane. But it has to be like lower power, not like a Lady Deathstrike, but like a lower cost card. Kind of like a single lane Killmonger kind of thing, but for like one individual card. And then for power, like give 1 power to a certain type of card or something.
I like it.
I love it. This is really, really cool idea. Please second dinner.
Please.
You know what? When they could do that, they could do that in their once a month patch where they give us something cool.
Mm-hmm.
God.
And he's got so many amazing variants. Like, it's just the card
It
we
is
just can't
amazing
truly.
Well, you could just be and play it in every deck for no reason.
That is true. We could just be Reef. Shout out to Reef.
We all love Ree.
Mm-hmm.
Ree was a great guest.
What you got, Ava?
I was thinking about the Moon Knight too, but with this idea.
Nah, but now let's take it.
Okay, I gotta see another card. Okay, I don't know. People maybe are going to blame me to say this, but I really want my Annihilus back.
Oh,
I think Annihilus need I don't know to throw rocks in my enemies. It's so fun. They take this out, and now with everyone's playing a lot of cards, I can play Annihilus. I can play Annihilus and throw my Void or my Hood because it's always full with Kitties, Nightcrawler. I don't know, Jeff, Nocturna. So you don't see a lot of Annihilus. You see like Cersei and Lady D, not Annihilus. So if they buff a little on Eyeless, it's kind of nice.
Okay.
Because I use my green border on Eyeless, and I want to use him.
I used mine on Hulk because he's the Jade Giant.
I want to use my Eyeless, please. Buff my guy again.
All right. Roy.
America Chavez. Right now, the only purpose America Chavez serves in the game is knowing who are bots that Second Dinner didn't take the time to update their deck list since America Chavez was a playable card. So that's how I know it's Bob is a bot rather than just someone who chose to have Bob as their display name. Yeah, just literally any design, but what she currently has. America is an amazing character. I have the single, because she was in every single deck, I have the best splits and best art on my Jamie McKelvey America Chavez art. Like, black and white with this awesome crackle. Like, why can I not play this card? Right? Like, it's upsetting to me. It is my nicest looking card in my entire collection, and it's just unplayable. And America's amazing. So, you know, I don't know, literally any design. Sure, I would love to have her old design back. I know that's never coming back, but, you know, even something that, like, you could lie to yourself about playing, like Crystal's text or something. Just, like, anything but what she currently does, which doesn't even thematically feel like America.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
I don't have an idea, but... Oh, Glazer doesn't have one. That's
you want me?
All right, this brings
me to
us...
sell one? I thought, okay.
No, we're good. All right, we are to our final segment every week, which is Variant of the Week. This week, we have a lot of consensus. There's only 2 variants up here. So let's do the one on the left here, which is the Sinister Spider-Man
Superior
Spider-Man, excuse me, / Hydra, right? Like,
He's not
that's
Hydra.
the sign, right? Is this the Superior? This isn't his Superior outfit, is it?
It's just their variant of the Superior, I believe.
Okay. So who picked this one?
I did, and so did someone else.
Yeah, unless nobody... Sometimes people don't respond. So
Ava, you picked it.
why'd you pick it?
I think you say about the right. Sorry.
No.
This variant, I use it, and for me, it's like the best for Dr. Octopus. So
yeah,
it's like that.
So I think Dr. Octopus is kind of a stupid character. Like,
it depends on what version of Dr.
Sure,
Octopus you're
like
talking about. There's a lot of versions of him.
I love him.
I mean, like he's a really cool card, but like I have a really hard time with like when little scientist guy gets punched in the face by Spider-Man. I'm like, his power is that metal arms, and I don't know why that breaks my suspension of disbelief when like nothing else does, but it consistently does, and it always has. Like he doesn't get spider powers.
That is why you don't like Dr. Octopus?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but it actually bothers me. So it does. Also, but however, despite that, Superior Spider-Man is actually like I think my favorite Spider-Man run ever. I don't have any great love for Peter Parker. Obviously, Superior Spider-Man is one of my favorite runs ever. So, yeah, the one that he's a Superior Spider-Man is awesome. Also, the one on the right is one we will all get for free if we play Conquest. Which is it?
Oh, is it a Conquest variant?
So.
Is that the one for September?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the September Conquest variant.
Oh, that might actually get me to like really grind out Conquest because damn, do I love this! Is just spicy. Yeah, it's the heads and tails above any other doc. Like,
as long as the fire's animated really well, that's what we need. Not some like Phoenix Force fire animation, like some legit Ghost Rider level fire animation, and it'll be clean.
Yeah, it captures like the version of Doc Ock that like I like, which is the more like sort of like scientist turned criminal Dr. Octopus versus some of the other variants of the character. That he's just a character that no one has decided his consistent characterization. So it's kind of like hard to stand Dr. Octopus with all the 50 different versions of him that have existed, ranging from like one step removed from the Joker to Spider-Man's mentor, aka Spider-Man 2 and No Way Home. So like it's and the video game too, right? He was the mentor in that one too. Great game, by the way. Anyway, this brings us to the end of the episode. And sort of as we do each and every week, we sort of remind our loyal listeners like what they would find if they tuned into our awesome special guest content. Tuccrr, you've been on the show before, but if you could just remind our loyal listeners where they can find you, and if they were to become your loyal listener or loyal viewer, what would they get out of your content?
So you can find me on all platforms under Tuccrr, Tuccrr. If you guys want high energy and a warm, welcoming environment where any and all opinions are welcome, just keep them within a certain range sometimes. But we appreciate everyone. Just a very loving community. I'm also a full-time content creator. So definitely come for the vibes, the love. Caffeinated pretty much every single time I'm live. So if I'm all over the place and it sounds like I have ADHD, I probably do. But we're making sure everyone gets, to talk, and I try and answer every single question the best I can.
All right. Like, if you follow, like, specifically, if you follow, like, Dexter, you should be following Tuccrr. Like, really fun, really high energy, really high quality, really consistent content. Just good at everything in Marvel Snap. Good at the game. Good at, like, genuinely giving, genuinely kind, genuinely friendly. Like, if you follow, like, honestly, I think, like, Dexter is, like, your big, like, creator comp. And if you're following Dex, you should be following Tuccrr. Because, like, you're just going to get, like, I mean, with no disrespect to Dex, Tuccrr is my friend, and I like him better as a person. As I tend to with my friends, right? But I think that in terms of content, even if you don't necessarily immediately agree, you will find a similar vibe and a lot of really great content. And, like, you should be following him. Like, especially, and he does really well on Twitch, but, like, his YouTube should be way bigger. His YouTube videos are great. So,
thank you,
bro.
All right, Ava, my friend. If our loyal listeners and loyal viewers to become your loyal listeners and loyal viewers, where would they find you, and what kind of content would they get?
Okay, first I want to say thank you again to be here. It was so nice to talk about Marvel Snap, and I love this. And so thank you for the invite. I am a content creator like the Marvel Snap, and this is my job, the stream. So all my socials is Evazord. So you can check my YouTube, Evazord, X, like Twitter, Evazord, and Twitch, Evazord too. And I play most like competitive way, but I can play some decks to chilling too,
You're full of
to
shit.
joke around, and so so if you guys wanna watch, English is not my first language. I'm from Brazil. So I try my best.
Ava, I wasn't
So
following
if
you on
you guys-
YouTube. I just fixed that. Sorry about that. I didn't know there was
my
a YouTube.
God.
I'm on your stream all the time. You never advertise your
They-
YouTube. And all right, I'm now following you.
Yeah.
We're good. But, like, what the hell? I had no idea that existed.
Yeah, my YouTube channel, I try to make it one video per week, but it's
I
hard.
literally thought, I was like, there's no way this man has a YouTube, and I haven't been following it. And then I typed it, I was like, fucker. Sorry about that.
It's okay. On YouTube, I say in Portuguese, but you
It's
can
fine.
translate. And I try to say clearly to translate the YouTube. It's better. So
It's totally fine to do that all the time.
English is not my first language. I say this. If you guys wanna hang out on my stream and say in English too, I talk a lot of the English too, so it's
It's
okay
true, I don't know
to have
Portuguese.
some. So, um, It's this. Thank you again.
So, guys, just so you know, this entire podcast from all of us has been in Portuguese. You just got inundated and learned the language magically. Congratulations. No. So there's like 50 reasons to watch Ava, and I'm going to make him come back so I can tell him all of them episode by episode. But a lot of players that watch us, like we have two like cohorts of players. We have top players and we have people that like are just getting into trying to get infinite. Like those are my like the big cohorts in my audience, at least as far as I know. A lot of what makes top players is they're good at predicting opponents' moves, and Ava is literally the best in the world at that. There's no one else in the world who's nearly as good at prediction, and if you would like to improve at that skill, watching Ava and analyzing how and why he does that is like he genuinely, I've been in his stream. I said this before we started. I've been in his stream. I've watched him be like, oh, so he's got to do this, this, and that. And you're like, how did you know that? And he's like, okay, so the only reason he stays here is this and that. And then, and like, he explains it. And then you go to the other stream. And the other streamer's like, he just stream sniped me. And like, no, I was watching him. I watched him explain this in real time. Like, I know he didn't stream snipe. Like, I was there, right? Like, I don't have to, like, review. Like he genuinely just predicts the moves based on like an extremely deep understanding of the game, and I watch him a lot and I can't predict as well as he does, but I've gotten better at it, right? Like if your goal is improvement, you should be watching his streams and then like being like, how did he know that? What are the tell signs? What is telling him this? And then start applying that to your games and you'll become a better Marvel Snap player. So you should really be following him if you care about improving this game. Also, he's in Snap Masters, which he's going to take down for us, right? Beat that, Husky Puppies.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. As we wind up this episode, we now move to my favorite segment each and every week. And I definitely want to thank our Patreon subscribers for growing to make this job even harder for Aaron each and every day that he does it and each and every week. So, Aaron, go ahead.
All right. I'm going to say thank you too. And again, because remember, I do a video that's very long after we record this podcast. We're going to go fast when we do this. We got Abigail Giesland, Meditor, Burnout, Cables, Irregardless, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, LAB, FaThorNewman, Good Dog Gamer, This Is The Way, Inc., I Am Frostman, Jane Everett, Doomer, Primed, Ryan, Kertixley, Koiray, Pyrofrost, The Goat Seeker, Denman Falcon, Joe Pro, whose name I need to change on the other video. He wants to go by his IGN. Sorry, Joe Pro. Doc D, the king of new card content, and bad takes about Mockingbird. Fat Nick, Doku, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Hello Racco, Haplo, Kenny Logs with the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, XRC and Skippy G, Tommy Nyquist, who won Snap Christmas League Season 1 is helping us sponsor Season 3, The King of Bros, Black Dahlia, The Great Kazoo, Jessica Gamble, Ryan Wood, The Real Woody, Kev Cihoda, Lunacris, Archangel 3K, Louis Antunes, Mod Supreme Models, Darth Taylor, Remus Adala, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrum Mix, Matt H., Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, Mr. Craig Sterry, Pretty Damn Chill. I know you're not there, but I wanted to put you on one more time. Pretty Chill. Seamus, Jonesy, Two Ties, The Pirate King, Tuccrr, that's that guy, The Homie Min, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for I hope you survive Florida. My friend.
All right, friends. All right, real quick reminder for our loyal listeners, loyal viewers, how you can engage in that parasocial relationship with us.
So wait. I'm so bad at parasocial relationships. Every single fucking person that messages me, I reply to. Like, if I see your reply and can reply, I reply. I'm not always fast, but I reply to everyone. I should not be saying this in a fucking video, but it's true.
Well, it's at the end, and based on our statistics, very few people make it all the way here. So, hey. All right. So our socials are Twitter at SnapJudgeCast. We are proud to be the official the official podcasting partner of Marvel Snap Zone. Go ahead and join their Discord. Link is in the description of the episode. Our email is snapjudgmentspodcast@gmail.com, and our YouTube, where you are watching this if you're watching the video, or most likely you engage with Glazer's daily Snap Takes, is Snap Judgments Pod. All right. Tuccrr, thank you for joining the sort of 4+ club. It's been a joy doing this with you. Every time that you've been on, I greatly appreciate you taking the time for us.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. It's always a blast. This is incredible. You guys are freaking incredible.
Ava, thank you so much for being on the show. You were a great guest, and I hope Glazer schedules you soon to be back on.
Oh, thank you. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, Aaron, my friend, it is a great pleasure to do this show with you each and every week. Thanks for doing this, my friend.
Peace and love, everybody.
All right, friends. That brings us to the end of another episode of Snap Judgments. Until next week, stay safe, make good choices, and keep on snapping.